going to open up the dirty window. We're going to open up the dirty window. One of the first things that I ever read that gave insight to the fact that my feelings and the full range of my feelings and the messiness of my feelings were valid actually came from Zora Neale Hurston, the Harlem Renaissance writer. If you've never read any of her work, she's phenomenal. And I came across this a long, long time ago, and she said, "I have been in sorrow's kitchen and licked out all the pots." I have been in sorrow's kitchen and I have licked out all of the pots. And then I have stood on the mountaintop, wrapped in rainbows, with a harp and a sword in my hands. When I think of the symbology of the harp, which is that which represents peace, which represents universal connection, the language that defies culture, and I think of the sword and the power of that and the implication of that, which is self-empowerment, the universal emblem of peace, and yet that which is the humanity's exemplification of power. And I realized that I had to migrate, you had to migrate from the sorrow of your kitchen, where you have licked out all of the pots, to get to a mountaintop where you understood your connection, but you also understood your individuality and your power. And then I realized that that's not a one-time migration, that you stand on the mountaintop and then all of a sudden we have to go back down into sorrow's kitchen and we have to lick out some more pots. And then we have to migrate up again and we have to reclaim our harp and our sword. And then we have to migrate back down into sorrow's kitchen. And we do this perpetually as long as we are in human form. And both places are valid. There is beauty and there is power in sorrow's kitchen that is unparalleled on top of that mountain. Both places then carry within us all of the necessary elements for you and I to begin to understand what it means to be human on this earth plane. I had no idea what to do today. And so I called, all this weekend, I called colleagues and clergy, African American colleagues and clergy across the country. Some I sat down with here face to face in Atlanta, and I asked them to help me. And I was overcome by the information that I received. One of the most valuable things that you and I can do is to sit in proxy. Do you know what that means? To sit in proxy and allow whatever it is, whether it's sorrow's kitchen or it's the exuberance of standing on the mountaintop, to be told to us from individuals. And so I sat in sorrow's kitchen this weekend, all this weekend, with my colleagues and my friends, and I let them share with me. And I asked them for help, and I asked them, what should I do? I listened to their stories. I listened to his rage, and I understood better, not fully, but better, all of the things that I, in my particular incarnation, miss. One told me that at the age of 14 that he gave up his aspirations to be an athlete because his grandfather told him that if he continued down that road, he would be dead by the time he was 30. That he needed to start carrying with him a satchel at all times. And in that satchel, there needed to be a very thick book. That book needed to be authored by some Germanic name, so that every single time that he was in public, he would show his satchel first, wherever he walked in, that he would take out the book wherever he was, so that it would prove that his life had value. He says, I've been doing that, and I'm 65 years old, and to this day, I still walk into every place with my satchel and my book to let people know that I have value. I talked to another one, a friend of mine in Oakland, and she said to me, it's time for white preachers to preach. I said, go on. She said, it's time for white preachers to preach, to lead with regards to what is necessary in order for change to occur. And I said, I don't know if I hear you correctly. I said, because there's been a long-standing narrative of stories and books and films and things that shows the white person coming in to save the colored and to save the biracial and to save the less fortunate. And I said, that's not a narrative that I want to continue. She said, you didn't let me finish. She said, it's time for white preachers to preach to white people and to tell them that it is time for them to become educated with regards to what is happening in the world. She said, not to teach us, to teach your own. And so Black Lives Matter. And anytime any of us have heard that since it has been prominent within this last year, all too often there have been those who have been too eager to then follow that with, well, all lives matter. And even though that's, of course, true, if you follow that, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. So there have been many illustrations that show what Black Lives Matter actually means. And I thought that I would attempt to write my own. And so if your house is ablaze and you called the fire department, and if you met them in the street asking them to please, please hurry, everything that you love and everything that you cherish is inside that house, that this house matters to you so much. And if that fireman then said, sir or ma'am, all houses matter, then intellectually they would not be wrong, but they would have been grossly dismissive to the need of the one who is in distress. Black Lives Matter does not need to be qualified by all lives matter because we know that all lives matter, just as all houses matter. The fact is that the metaphoric temple, the house of the African American, has been burning for centuries. And each time the body temple of one more is burnt, disregarded, abused, enslaved, and killed, then those of us who are not of color and who do not become involved in the repair and in the repentance of the ignition of institutional racism that has been existent since the first African slaves were brought to North American colonies at Jamestown, Virginia in 1619 are, at our mildest, ignorant, and at our worst, perpetuating the fueling of the bigoted fires of racism. And so to stand proxy for generations of ignorance is the best that we can do. And I am asking you today to be willing to do that. There is a very famous prayer. It is called the Ho'oponopono prayer. The Ho'oponopono prayer has 4 lines. And what is so rich and so powerful about this prayer is that it cuts out all the crap. And it just lasers into the necessity of what needs to be communicated between souls. Those lines are, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. Would you repeat that with me? I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. If the lights would come up. I'm going to ask that everyone of color, biracial, whatever your ethnicity, of color, if you would remain seated. And if everyone who is Caucasian, if you would stand. If you would now distribute yourself around those of color who are sitting, find someone, if there could be those of you who could stand around them in a circle, if you would ask their permission, whether or not it's okay to touch their shoulder or their arm, don't just automatically assume that's okay. But if you would surround them, if there is very many of you around one person, and if you could look around and be conscious of the fact that there are others around the room that might need more people, so if you could gravitate around the room and find someone to stand with. You can move out of your row and you can surround them. Don't try to just lean over the row, but get around them. And for a few moments of silence, if you would just do them the honor of looking them in the eye and just taking them in. If you would repeat after me, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Again, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Again, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. If you would take the opportunity to introduce yourself to them, to speak with them. I want to invite Pat Cochalone to come up here. Pat is a retired police officer from the Atlanta who was shot while on duty, and I believe you said you coded twice. Yes, you did. And so can you come up just a little bit and let us have a little bit of insight about your journey?
Hi guys, I'm Pat, Coach Warner. I love you. Thank you. It was in October 12th, 97. John saw another officer got the call. And all we heard was that it was supposed to be a fight of some sort. Knowing that our radio wasn't working most of the day, I was on the next beat, and I decided I would go there to help him, to make sure he was all right, to help the other officer. We had our own cars. Everybody was single, so it was whoever you get close to you, who could help you. So I was there to help John. When we found the location, both of us drove up our cars at the same time, and we found a woman sitting on the concrete of a parking lot, and a man standing above her, and trying to pull her. We came out of the cars and saw it. He realized that we were cops who showed up. He ran and ran away from us. First thing I said was to the lady, I said, "Did he help you? Did he hurt you?" And she said, no, I just can't get home." And I realized then that she was pretty drunk and she just needed help. Now it was the other officer's call, so it was really his decision to make. But I asked the lady where she lived, and it was only a couple blocks away. So I asked John Soa, the other officer, if it was okay with him if we were to just take her home and see if there's somebody there to help her, to take care of her. We couldn't leave her alone because she was drunk. I wanted to know if we could just take her home rather than having to take her to jail. And John Sola said, "Yeah, that's a good idea." So we got to the apartment. We saw that the man who we saw earlier came to the door and started yelling. Things didn't see right, so I tried to get another car just in case we needed help. The radio was broken again. I tried a couple times, and this time both these guys were yelling so loud they couldn't even hear each other. And finally I got the other officer's attention. I said, "John." He looked at me and he saw it in my eyes that something was definitely wrong. We both ran. As I turned to my right, I saw his rifle come out and he shot me down a few times, putting me on the ground so I couldn't run. Then he shot and killed the other officer, putting cop killer bullets through his heart. Then he walked over again to stand over me to finish me up. And when he did the last time he shot me, he was trying to shoot me right in the middle of the eyes. But as I was looking up at him, just at the right time I turned my head. So the bullet went into my head, into the brain, and out a little bit, and then into the ground. He went back to the apartment thinking that he had already killed both of us, that we were done. He went back in the apartment and closed the door. I was still trying to get ready to work, and when it did, a little bit of it came out, and you could hear me speaking, but it wasn't normal because I now had a brain injury. But I came out speaking garbled, like, blah, 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 blah. And the officers listening to it said, she needs help now. It then took them, well, the couple officers showed up right away, and they dragged me out of the way. Seeing that John Saw was already dead, they grabbed me and dragged me out of the way so we didn't get shot anymore. And then it took 6.5 hours for them to call SWAT team to talk him out of the apartment. I'm sorry I mess up sometimes speaking because I do have a brain injury. But I'm a woman, I can still talk. I'm sorry, I just had to put it there. So, while I'm waiting on the ground for the cops to show up, something I had never believed before, I actually saw the light. I was lying on the ground, hoping and praying God to help us. And then I saw the light, and I knew that I would be okay. Then I heard the sirens show up. Then they took us to the hospital. It took them 6.5 hours, like I said, for them to talk him out of the apartment. And Mr. Lawler is now in death row for killing the other officer. We were only there to help. I promise you. Most officers, like myself, became cops because we wanted to help people. I mean, there have been such greater things, like I helped somebody have a baby. Those are things that I was hoping to do, just to help people. I know that it's been really hard to go through all this with, this was since '97. I've gone through a lot of therapy. I had a lot of help with the help of Lane. She's helped me and my fiance, Connie. With their help, I'm now finally able to forgive him for what he did to us. I'm not happy for what he did, but he made some really bad decisions that night, and I do forgive him. I want you to know that most officers really do want to help people. That's why I became a cop.
Lane, would you? So on this path of forgiveness, how valuable it is, again, for us to stand proxy. If you would help me take this to the next step, would all of our people of color, if you will come and surround Pat. And Pat, if you will hold proxy for all of those that you stated whose declaration to serve was one of pure intent. And if you would allow yourself to be the vessel of forgiveness. And if those of you surrounding Pat will repeat after me, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. Once more, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. And now if everyone in the room will stand and migrate and find somebody, preferably that you don't know, and just stand hand in hand looking into their eyes this morning. You can fill the whole room up, so if you'll make your way around the room, turn to somebody. Again, if you'll find a partner, if everyone will find a partner. And in silence, if you will take a moment now to dive to the deepest part of your heart, that place of vulnerability, and just look in the eyes of that person. And begin to allow yourself to see beyond all surface conditions. Give that person the privilege to be seen. And if you'll say to each other, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you.
Sauda and Rachel to come forward. Will you join us as we sing this song? Check it out. All right.
The spark of love that lights the world is inside of you and me. Shine so bright, it sparkles still in our hearts above and below.
Here's to love.
So here's to love, let us sparkle. Sing along, please. Here's to love, let us shine.
One by one.
If one by one,
each spark would
ignite, we'd sparkle with shimmering light. It doesn't matter what you believe, your spark's as bright as mine. Let's join our hands together and share our light divine.
So here's to love.
So here's to love, let us sparkle.
Here's to love, let us shine.
Here's to love, let us shine.
And one by one,
One by one,
each spark would ignite.
each spark would ignite. We'd sparkle with shimmering light. When every heart illuminates, this world will find its way.
Here's to love.
So here's to love, let us sparkle.
Here's to love, let us shine.
Here's to love, let us shine.
One by one,
One by one,
each spark would ignite.
each spark would ignite. We sparkle with shimmering light.
line up. They're going to line up before you here today. And I've asked my dear friend, Astarius Miraculi, to do a benediction like only he can do a benediction. So if you will come front and center, if you will all take this in, holding the hands of the person next to you.
Oh, my beloveds, love you so much. And I take a stand here for the spirit of redemption, that we believe in the redemption of every being. I found so much power in forgiveness. Been blessed to be a champion forgiver, and it's been one of the greatest blessings of my life. And so in this benediction, I invite you to believe in the redemption of every being. I found my power in knowing that the lowest devil can't go lower than the lowest that I, as well as everyone, is capable of. And the highest angel can't fly higher than the highest that we're all capable of. And so I send love to all of the treachery promoters, and because I know that there's tremendous self-hatred there, and there's a great requirement of love and forgiveness. And so I'll leave you with this poem that the Most High was kind enough to write through me. I call it Trust and Forgiveness. Trust and forgiveness, the sacred twins. Trust brought you to this earth. To heaven, forgiveness ascends. The rage of resentment blocks the lessons you must learn, and the darkest of relationships then constantly return. The weapon of distrust, breathe the horrors of your pain, and distrustful ones will come to you until you trust again. Forgiveness is the master key, opening the cage to set you free from distrust, misery, pain, and strife from those you feel have wrecked your life. Who can do a thing to you that you yourself did not create? Will you place blame outside yourself, or was it you who wove your fate? The past you reap, the future you sow, the present collects the debts you owe. If you had not the need, there would be no nasty deed, much wisdom to be gained from the center of your pain. Forgiveness is a must, for it teaches you to trust. Suspicion is a hungry beast that rips away your inner peace. So let go now of past resentment toward fallen love of yesterday. If not, your past repeats itself and steals the joy of this great day. If you don't forgive the past, you can't trust the present. And you then attract a future untrustworthy and unpleasant. Forgiving the past, trusting the present, making the future sweet and pleasant, blessing the darkness, making it right, reversing the tide, and freeing the light. On behalf of any man, woman, being, or thing that ever hurt you in any lifetime, I, as representative of every man, woman, being, and thing, sacredly apologize to you. By the grace of God, Goddess, and the whole universe, our being, we give back to you any energy ever falsely taken from you by any man, woman, being, or thing in any lifetime, and holding sacred space for you to take back. Any energy, any power you ever falsely gave away to any man, woman, being, or thing in any lifetime, calling back all of your fragments and soul pieces for your wholeness, your ascension, and your passionate expression of forgiveness. I love you so much, and your sacred juices are sacredly cooked and ever expanding.